Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing good. This video, my goodness, this is the first time I have ever tried tinfoil in resin. Now, I have to do a huge shout out to Sue Findley. She is a resin artist down in Australia. First saw this on her channel many moons ago, where she used tinfoil and glued it down to a board to create the most beautiful abstract resin wall art, and it was absolutely stunning. Now, I have also seen Kelly Belly do this with tinfoil as well, but very different, and I'm doing something completely different to both of them, and I am in love with the results. Let's go. Now, I will be using my Tesco kitchen foil. Now, guys, I know some of us call this kitchen foil, aluminium foil, but yeah, it's that, you know, it's tin foil basically. We are going to be using our standard kitchen tin foil. We're going to be smushing it up and crunching it up and creating some absolutely stunning pendants. This mold I'm using is from Let's Resin. You would have seen this in a recent unboxing, and I haven't used this one yet, so I figured might as well try it. Now, the resin I'm using is Vista Turbo. I am an affiliate for Let's Resin, and I'm also an ambassador for Vista Resin, so all of the details with your codes will be in the description box below. The reason I'm using Vista Turbo is because, like I've said in every video, it's a fast cure, which means I can get this project done in a day because this is a 2-pour layer system, and that is it. I'm lazy basically. I'm lazy. You know, if you know me, you know I want things done, and I want things done fast. So I'm just putting in a really thin layer of resin. I don't want too much because I am going to pack the tin foil down into these pendants. So you just want enough to cover the base and hope that it's enough to semi-glue the tin foil in place before you pour the next layer. Now, I am waiting for this first layer of resin to cure before I put the actual top coat on. And because this is Vista Turbo, I can do that after about 3 hours. Vista Turbo is ready to demold after 5 hours. So I'm going to leave it anywhere from 2 to 3 hours before I actually finish these off, which is why I use this resin. It's a dream. So yeah, I'm just giving my mold a little bit of a shimmy and a little bit of a wobble just to make sure that that resin gets down into all of the creases and the nooks and the crannies. I'm using my silicone tool, but if I'm honest, this part here is... it didn't really do much because I haven't put enough resin in these pendants to completely and utterly cover the base. And when you do that, it's actually pulling away from the edges. You can see some of the resin is pulling away from the edges of these pendant pieces because I haven't put enough resin in. I just wanted enough resin to hold the tinfoil in place before pouring the second coat. Now, there was a downside to this. My brain was thinking, I'm going to have massive holes. I'm going to have crevices, and I'm going to have chunky holes at the base of my pieces, at the bottoms of my pieces. But this was not the case. They came out super beautiful. So really happy. And I guess what happened is when I poured the second layer, that resin then seeped down into any little gaps that were occurring, and it worked out pretty well. So yeah, I was really happy. I'm not sure what I was going to do if I did have chunky holes in the bottoms, but luckily we didn't have to find out because it didn't work. It didn't happen. But okay, first bit of foil. You really want shiny side up. If you've used tin foil before or aluminium foil, most of the foils I get particularly have a matte side and a super shiny side, and you want the shiny side up. You want, if that's the section you really want to see. So depending on what you're doing, if you're doing it, place it face down. If the underbelly is going to be the front of your piece, I hope I'm making sense, guys. But because these are pendants and I'm working backwards and the top is going to be the front, I'm putting them in shiny side up. And because I've never done this before, I wasn't sure how much detail I wanted, and I decided that I was just going to do it, you know, just play by ear. Because I've never done it before, I figured I would just shove the foil in there, use my silicone tool, shove it down, and just keep shoving it down until I was happy. What this did was it definitely crushed up the tin foil way more than I was thinking about in my head. I just thought, you know, I would crease the tin foil just a little bit, just to give me some of these faceted kind of edges, make it look almost diamond-esque. But wedging it down and actually shoving it down with my silicone tool, it really battered the tin foil, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I'm going to be using some resin colorants in this. I'm not using alcohol inks, similar to the last video you would have seen where I used the druzy sheet from Moulds and Shapes, the giant cut your own druzy sheet from Moulds and Shapes. I'm using the exact same colors. If you didn't see that video, I will link it here. But this is 3 hours later. That tin foil has completely cured and stuck in that first layer of resin, and now it's time to top them up. And the second I started pouring this transparent resin, oh my gosh, it just made the tin foil come to life, and I immediately saw just crisp blue tropical oceans, very similar to the last video where you saw me use the giant druzy sheet. In fact, I would say the results were so similar. The only difference between the two, of course, is that the druzy, you know, it's all clear, it's all transparent and see-through, whereas tinfoil won't give you that effect at all. It will give you a completely blocked background. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It reminded me of the tropical oceans, like I said in the last video, of, you know, Bora Bora and the Maldives. It definitely reminded me of just hot and expensive destinations. Very expensive destinations. But yeah, I did a similar thing here. So I just used a lighter blue, and then I actually added some more of the darker blue pigment to give me that ombre, that gradient effect of the different coloured oceans. I didn't do that in all of them, but you can see at the bottom of the screen that rectangle. Oh my gosh, that I love. Now I did pour the resin in just to give me a slight dome on all of these, because the more you dome, and fingers crossed without any flooding over, the more you dome, the less you have to worry about afterwards about sanding, you know, sharp edges and things. It worked a dream. I have to say, this mold worked a dream. I domed every single piece so successfully, and I didn't have a single drip go out over the side. That's also down to Vista Turbo. Vista Turbo is quite a thick resin, so it worked so well. Now I did have some resin left over, most unlike me. Honestly guys, one day I'll get it right. And I just wanted to do a quick little experiment, and I figured I might as well film it and show you guys as well, seeing as this is the first time I've ever used tinfoil in resin. I've seen it done, but it's the first time I've ever done it. So I figured I would try putting tinfoil down into one of my sphere molds just to see what it looks like. There's not going to be a project in it, but we're just going to see. Okay, this is the next day. I did leave them overnight, and this is the next day, and demold, absolutely stunning. I honestly just feel like this really does resemble the crisp tropical oceans. I absolutely love it. I love the effect. There's also like a mountainous feeling to them as well, almost like an ice, like a glacier kind of look to them, which, you know, we could maybe do this project again in the winter and it would be more fitting. But for the ocean, I still feel like they fit into the ocean themed category because they are just stunning. Tinfoil, guys, just using tinfoil. How easy is that? Tinfoil and resin, two things, and you've got some super beautiful, to me, what look like almost blingy diamond. Yeah, high-end, we'll say. High-end jewellery. Who knew it was value Tesco foil? But yeah, I really love the results. And I love the results of like this one here, where I didn't completely fill up the mould with tinfoil. I left some gaps, and you can see around the edges where there are some gaps. But again, I feel like this is one of them projects that is really difficult to show on camera. I don't have a super expensive camera. I still film all of my videos on my phone, on my Samsung. So yeah, there are moments where I wish I had this really expensive zoom camera lens that I could really get in there and show you the detail, but they are stunning. They definitely remind me of glacial ice, I have to admit. I mean, that's still ocean, right? That's still ocean. But yeah, really happy. I'm actually gonna get them outside in the sun and hopefully show you what they look like when the sun is directly hitting the foil, because I felt like right now in my craft room the light just was not doing me justice. The light betrays me. But listen, this is the result of shoving some tinfoil into a sphere. This is for your reference and my reference. Again, this was not a standalone video. This was just me experimenting just to see what it looks like. And I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. Have you ever seen videos or film of when people go scuba diving and they go right down in through cave systems and the water is sometimes super crystal clear down there? That is what this reminded me of. And this section here reminded me of like a little pond. If you were going to create a resin like a diorama, miniature world diorama, you could easily do that for a pond or a lake or a section of ocean in your diorama as well. So yeah, super happy, and I'm really loving these two blues together. Now again, I bought these outside for the sunshine to do its work, and the sunshine decided it didn't want to do it. So I actually held back for a little while and I waited until the skies cleared so that I could actually hold them up against the white wall of the back of my house to really show you the detail in them. And I love them. I love them so much. Next time I do oceans, I definitely want to try the tinfoil technique that I saw Sue Findley do for her oceans, because honestly the results were basically like this but on a huge scale, massive wall art piece that she made. Yeah, definitely in the future I am doing large. Next year when we're back on the oceans. And yeah, I absolutely love them. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've tried tinfoil in resin and what your results were like. I've really thoroughly enjoyed this, and I just think it's one of the easiest projects to do. You just need tinfoil. And guys, even without the colorant, even without the blue color, I still think these would look pretty snazzy and pretty cool as pendants. Like, you wouldn't think it was tinfoil. That's the thing. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. Thank you so much if you've stayed this long. I appreciate you all, and I will see you all on Saturday for my very last ocean themed video. I cannot believe it's come to an end. Honestly, when I started, I was like, how am I going to do 6 whole weeks of ocean themed videos? And here we are, we're coming to the end. So this Saturday is the very final one. We are creating miniature oceans in giant scallop shells, and I love them. See you all then. Bye.